Because listen, people tend to put off anarchism like it's some ridiculous thing. People are just going to kill each other with zero basis. They just think people are going to kill each other. People could do that now. I could go kill everyone if I want, and everyone else could do the exact same if we really wanted to. I don't understand. I understand there's incentive with laws and stuff, but there's incentive in anarchism too, because I could kill you if you try to kill me. You understand? Self-security is nothing right now. Nobody cares right now. You walk around the street, I guarantee you're not looking around to see if there's anybody that's going to mug you, ever. I don't. Honestly, I've never experienced anything. It's very safe.
We're on the line with First Amender. How you doing?
Good. How about you?
Good. What did you want to talk about?
Yeah. Well, anarchism. I think it's the. I think anarchism is the. I think it's the philosophy that will work the longest and the best for any society.
Anarchism
and
will
I think
work
it's
the
the goal. I think it's the goal. I think it's everyone's goal. Honestly, anarchism. I don't see it not being everyone. I think it's everyone's goal deep down inside, you know. But I think people just think we aren't ready for it, you know.
All right. So, is your point of this is that anarchism is the goal of any society, or it lasts the best, or is the best government? What is your claim?
Well, it's not a government.
The
it's
lack
a
thereof, or...
really. But I think it's the goal of any society.
So if your claim is anarchism is the goal of any society, I'm going to ask you to define what is a society to you?
What is a society?
Yeah.
Well, it's not really a society either. It's nothing. It's just that's the wrong word to use. It's just a relationship.
So
just a group, it's
anarchism
just a
is the
relationship
goal of any relationship.
Of any people. Of any race, of any
So
civilization.
Anarchism is the goal of all people.
Yeah.
It's not the goal of me.
Yeah, do you want... Are you advocate of full freedom?
No.
No?
No.
How come?
Well, because I think that there needs to be certain restrictions in order to have people live out a better life.
Like what?
Building codes, traffic laws.
You need building codes.
Environmental
you need
regulations
to live your life.
Business regulations.
Why? But why? Why do you need building codes to?
So I don't die in a building because of shoddy workmanship.
Well, why can't you do that in an anarchist society? I don't know.
Because there's no regulatory body that says you can't do that.
Have you heard of a? Oh, I'm sorry. Have you heard of a governance?
Yes.
Do you know what is it?
I would imagine it's like a group of people
No.
tell people what to do.
No.
Oh.
A governance is a private company that will set rules, not set. Yeah, it'll set rules, and people can, like, kosher. Kosher the food, kosher food.
Yeah.
Kosher food.
Yeah, I know kosher food.
When
Sure.
you go get kosher food in a grocery store, there's a symbol for kosher.
Yeah.
Because it's better food, it's better quality. That's a governance. There's a company that is approving quality, not a government. A company that will approve quality, and people will trust it with their dollar, and they'll do the research, see if it's actually good. So a governance. That's how you would.
Okay. Well, so if
That's
a
how you would fix
corporation
the building.
so let's say that I'm that building, right? And I want people to live in that building. And as I was building it, I gotta tell you, man, I kind of cheaped out on some of those parts.
Well, what's stopping you from doing that in the government?
But here's the thing, right? I didn't tell you about it, right?
What's
I just
stopping you from
say
doing
that it's fine, right? But it's not fine.
Yeah, what's stopping you from doing that right now with building codes? What's stopping that?
Well, there's a government and regulatory bodies that do not let you sell a house or a building. Huh?
It's basically the same thing. It's basically the exact same thing with the government. That's what I'm trying to say.
So what's the difference between,
doing
I guess, a government that I'm referring to versus a governance.
Well, right now with a government, I can't choose. There's taxes. I cannot choose. That's what makes a government a government. Would you agree that's what makes a government? Taxes?
No.
Well, what makes a government a government? Do you know what the definition of government is?
Sure. I mean, I would just apply
What is it?
a colloquial definition of government. I mean, it would be
What's the definition?
It's a system or a group of people that governs an organized community, generally a state.
Mm-hmm. And then what's the definition of govern?
Governance.
No, govern. You said you're governed. In your definition
I
of
already
governing,
defined it. I said
govern.
it's a system or a group of people governing an organized community, generally
What's
a
governing?
state.
What's the definition of governing, though?
Governing? Okay.
You see how that's kind of a loop there?
Having authority to conduct policy, actions, or affairs in a state, organization, or people.
Okay, authority is a big word right there. No, I would think so. What makes What makes a governing body have authority over people?
A gun. Force, typically.
No. I could have a gun.
True, but the goal is specifically the monopoly of force.
It's taxes, bro. It's taxes.
No, I mean, I guess taxes can be involved. I mean,
they own the dollar and then they inflict taxes. That is how that's every society right now. That's what makes them a government. It's taxes. I don't know how this is a fact. I'm not even.
I mean, do you believe that
shouldn't be a debate.
Is it? Well, I the only reason why I'm disagreeing with you is perhaps it is possible there exists a society that doesn't use money. They use something else. I mean, it could be labor chips or I mean, societies like this have existed in the past, and something like this would not be. An example of like taxes. What makes a government is going to be ultimately the monopoly of force.
Yeah, but you can have a government without force or without monopolizing force.
How so?
With taxes.
Okay, but let's say, I mean, here's the problem though, right? Me and my buddies, since the government has applied no force, we're just
no.
We're not gonna follow it.
You said monopolize force.
Yeah, and no, I agree with you. It's a monopolization of force, which allows the government to exist. Yes. If you don't have the monopoly of force, then the government is ineffectual.
We could take over the government right now. They don't have a monopoly on force. We have more guns than them. Yeah, we could.
No, afraid not.
Yeah, we could.
Yeah.
Really think that? You really think that?
I do. Yeah, I do.
Really?
Yeah, I think like if everybody stood up against the United States military, there's really, I don't think anybody could. I don't think.
Well, no. You're telling me so. So you're telling me the people in the military are going to kill their families?
I mean, to me, it sounds like that we're going down a kind of like a weird line of.
What are you talking about?
I do want to have a back and forth. Right, I've been very polite with you.
I'm sorry. You're right.
I wanted to delve back into your idea. Like you said, that anarchism is the goal of all people, but it's not my goal. I don't feel that society gets better when there is the lack thereof of government. You asked, why would you need, and I said, well, I mean, I like the idea of traffic laws and building codes and regulatory agencies that tell you what you can and cannot do. I want the streets to be relatively safe. These are all necessary in order to have like a working society. And I feel that with any anarchist system, whether you pick, say, a libertarian anarchist, right-wing libertarian anarchist state versus left-wing anarchist state, really just, in my opinion, just ultimately results in Mad Max, because there's a lack of a monopoly of force preventing from warlords from taking over.
Well, there can still be security. What's stopping them from having security?
Well, there's security in Mad Max.
It wouldn't be monopolized. It would be capitalized.
Well, but I don't want that though. I don't want a bunch of warlords fighting over territory. I would rather there be a governing body that has so much force that even if you got together with your friends would fight, I don't find that to be a better society. That to me, that just sounds like Mad Max. And what I would want to live in is a society that has a government that has a monopoly of force that enforces people's basic rights. So that way people can just kind of live their life as they see fit.
Okay, well, listen. What is stopping a company from just right now in an anarchist society relationship of people, and in our, what's stopping company? You're saying they're going to be warlords. What does that even mean? You're saying they're going to be warlords. What does that mean?
A warlord would be like somebody that is able to exercise military, economic, or political control over a region. One without a strong centralized national government. So like they control a particular region.
We have that right now.
No.
Yeah, we do. China,
in the United
Russia,
States,
America,
we're not in Somalia.
North Korea,
right?
South Korea, Japan. I can name all these.
No,
every single
they have
country
central bodies that have militaries, and they have control over their land. If you decided, well, me and my buddies, we're going to get together and we're going to start gunning down people that go against us. Well, what would happen is that the military would show up and kill all of you, right? And then society would go back to normal because that's the monopoly of force. If there is the lack thereof, then there's really nothing stopping a group of people from banding together and killing all sorts of people, right? And it just ends up with Mad Max is my problem. It's Mad Max.
Let me just get your basic argument, because you're trying to say that without authority, everyone's going to start killing each other. Is that what you're saying?
Yeah.
You would start killing people? Would you start killing people?
Me personally? No, I would not.
Oh, well, what about the other guy that's here? Let me ask him real quick. Let's just get a third opinion.
Daniel, do you hear the stream?
Yeah. And I might.
Let's just see if we can get 100%.
How easy it would be.
Daniel says he might.
He would start killing people? Really?
He said he might. Yeah.
Really?
Depends, but
he says it depends.
If need be.
Really?
Yeah.
Okay, what does it
Also, I
depend
know
on?
people that would certainly do that.
Daniel says he knows people who certainly would.
I don't believe him. He's not going to start fucking killing people. Oh, can I curse? I'm sorry.
Well, I mean, it's an 18-plus show, so
okay.
I suppose there's an amount of... But, yeah, I mean, keep it to a minimum.
I am sorry. I'll keep it to a minimum. That's my first one, so I'll keep it to a minimum.
Yeah.
But, I don't think that guy's going to start killing people. I'm not going to start killing people. Every time I have a conversation with people, they always say they're not going to start killing people. I've never heard one person say they're going to start killing people.
Well,
I'm just saying, I do not understand this argument where people are just going to start killing everybody.
Well, so
I honestly
the
do not.
issue is
and do you know why? Because, listen, you can have a monopoly on force, but we can also have private force. I don't understand the difference, honestly. Either way, it's private. To be honest, our government is a private company. If you really think about it, it's the most complicated private company to ever exist, and the biggest. If you really think about it, it has a board of directors. If you really think about it, it has a CEO. Right now, we live in an anarchist society, to be honest. I just want to shrink it down. That's my argument.
Yeah.
Because right now, if you really think about it, it's an anarchist society. We just... not really. Kinda. It is.
Wait,
There's
if
going
it's
to be
an anarchist
private
society,
companies where
doesn't want to
on
change
your
anything.
phone, I think I can imagine it right now. On your phone, they work with the private phone companies and these police force companies, private police force companies or security companies. And it's just an easy button on your phone. Or
so
even like
is it
a
fair to
side
say...
button on your phone that you just... Hold on. Let me finish. A side button on your phone that you just have to click like 6 times so that make it 10, 15 times so it's hard to do. And then it's like, listen, if you're in this area, you're safe. If you're not in this area, you're not safe because we're not in that area as a private company.
I mean, to me, that
so,
just...
you have... Hold on, let me finish. I'm sorry, I'm going off, I know, but you don't have to respond to anything else before. You just have to respond to this private company thing, this security thing.
Yeah, I already have a response for you, but go ahead and continue. I'll let you finish.
Okay, let me finish, though, so that the people can hear you. See what I'm saying? Just because maybe I'm convincing anyone else but you. But, man, now I'm... All right, go. Whatever. I lost where I was.
Okay. Have you ever heard of the Banana Republic?
No, I've heard of it, but I don't know much about it.
Yeah. I mean, I don't mean the clothing brand.
No, I know. It's a place.
Oh yeah. Okay. So.
What do you think? Come on, man.
Well, to me, it sounds to me that effectively what you could be arguing is, we could look at this an example, when government steps out of the way and allows private corporation just kind of, take over the region. I don't
know. I'd have to look into it.
Yeah. That did happen under the what's called the Banana Republic.
Completely no rules, nothing. There was nothing with it.
Well, there were rules. You needed to collect bananas.
Okay, then that's already not anarchist. What are you talking about?
Well, but no, you said that if the monopoly of force was just put onto, not governments, but a governance, right?
You said that a government has to do with the monopoly of force.
You said here, right? What ended up happening. In the context of no government, is that the multinational corporations replaced the role of government. So which meant that the foreign powers influenced and directly controlled the national decisions. And specifically in Guatemala, the U.S. helped orchestrate a coup in 1954 to protect the United Fruit Company's interests. What ended up happening is that the public institutions that used to exist stopped existing. It only exists as effectively a facade. They weren't actually there. Elites and military leaders, they were able to enrich themselves while the populace suffered. This also created additional bribery, nepotism, and election fraud. And things such as the functioning state, roads, schools, and hospitals, all of that deteriorated. Justice systems were non-existent. Citizens resulted in turning into gangs, militias, or corporations for protection and services. And there were coups, military juntas, and paramilitary groups, very common. Freedoms like speech, assembly, and press were curtailed, and dissidents were jailed, disappeared, or killed. In this instance, right, by having this lack of rules thing, a lot of people, they like to think that means freedom, right? However, under the Banana Republic, the exact opposite was the case, because in the absence of a legitimate functional government, power consolidated to the hands of the violent, the rich, or the foreign. And without the rule of law, people weren't free. What do you mean legitimate
functional government? I'm sorry, you're going off. What do you mean legitimate functional government? And absent of a legitimate
if I had to imagine, right, like the United States government is likely much more legitimate, much more functional than a private corporation.
I understand that. But that's what you used to explain this. You didn't say no government. So what is it? Is it no government? Like, I'm not understanding. I don't know nothing about this. What year was it? What culture do they have? We have a no murder
Guatemala
culture.
In the 1950s. Right. It basically resulted in an anarcho-tyranny. It was an anarcho-tyrannical
no
rule.
Internet, no technology. I'm not saying anarchism was always necessary. I'm saying it's the goal. All right.
Well, in this instance, right, there was no monopolization of...
I'm saying now we can do it with technology. I didn't think we could do it in 1950s. Of course not. That'd be ridiculous. All right. I had a bunch of racists back then. I mean, what are we talking about?
Why don't you, with technology, explain how it would not devolve?
You brought up an example into, hold on.
How would it not devolve into Mad Max? Quell my doubts.
I just explained it with the company. Well, and then you cut me off. Like, I don't know what you want me to say.
Explain it. I don't understand it. It doesn't make any sense to me.
I'll go over it again. But you got to hear me out. All right,
okay.
You got to hear me out.
Go ahead.
Because listen, people tend to put off anarchism like it's some ridiculous thing. People are just going to kill each other with zero basis. They just think people are going to kill each other. People could do that now. I could go kill everyone if I want, and everyone else could do the exact same if we really wanted to. I don't understand. I understand there's incentive with laws and stuff, but there's incentive in anarchism too, because I could kill you if you try to kill me. You understand? I mean, self-security is nothing right now. Nobody cares right now. You walk around the street, I guarantee you're not looking around to see if there's anybody that's going to mug you, ever. I don't. Honestly, I've never experienced anything. It's very safe. In an anarchist society, carry a gun. I don't know what you want me to say. Carry a gun. It's going to be very hard to commit any crimes if everyone's carrying a pistol. I'm just saying. And then not even that, there's also going to be a company, a private company, that we'll we'll just like be able to look over the land of California, Arizona, Nevada, Utah, and Colorado. And because their law is in line. You see what I'm saying? And no, sorry, I'm just making it easier to imagine. But in reality, there wouldn't be these states. You see what I'm saying? All right?
I'm listening. It just doesn't sound coherent.
It would really just cover regions. It would really just cover land areas in an anarchist society. What do you mean it doesn't sound coherent?
Yeah, that's correct. I mean, to me, it sounds to me that you are describing Mad Max.
What? What are you talking about? I just described. You're telling me everyone's just going to go around killing each other.
Well, maybe not everybody, but groups of people.
Okay.
I mean, well, here's the thing, right? You just said that, in an anarchist society, go ahead and carry a gun. It's hard to commit a crime when everybody is carrying a pistol. So already, right, if by everybody being armed, this necessitates that more violence will occur.
What?
And so that is equivalent. Yes, yeah, by having more guns, this results in more potential interactions that lead to a violent outcome.
What makes you say that?
So, statistics, the stats show that to be the case. So if the problem is well, we could look at.
Can I see the stats?
Yeah, I mean, there's like in the United States, there's more guns per person in the United States than there is any other European country, and lo and behold, there's more gun violence. But again, I don't find it to be a better society to that everybody is walking around carrying a gun in order to prevent crime. Because here's the problem, right? Not everybody. I don't believe that a better society is reached if every individual can be judge, jury, and executioner. I would imagine that the monopoly of force should be left up to a government that establishes
rights. Society, by the way.
Well, I asked you to explain yourself, and you said in an anarchist society you carry a gun, and it's hard to commit a crime when everybody carries a pistol. I don't find that to be. I don't find that to be a better. This only works if you can hear me out. I don't find it to be a better society if everybody carries around a gun and is effectively judge, jury, and executioner. I don't find that to be reasonable at all, not even remotely. And it just sounds like Mad Max.
We do that now. We do that now.
No.
Are you voting for these judges? Oh, well, why not? How come you're not voting for these judges?
No, I didn't say anything regarding voting judges. You said we do that now. We don't do that now. Everybody can't carry around a gun, and you're not automatically judge, jury, and executioner just because you carry a gun around. A concealed carry permit does not give you a right to gun somebody down because you feel like you've been wronged.
What?
If you feel like that you have been wronged, you do not have a right to just go up and gun somebody down just because you have a concealed carry.
Did I say you have a right?
Well, you said that in an anarchist society, you carry a gun. It's hard to commit a crime when everybody carries a pistol. So that necessitates that every individual can potentially be judge, jury, and executioner.
Right to go gun people down, though? What are you talking about, dude?
Why are you carrying a pistol? You're saying it's hard to commit a crime when everybody carries a pistol. Why are you carrying a pistol?
For self-defense, dude. What are you talking about? Not to go attack a bunch of...
Okay.
Well, what are you talking about? Why would it be to go attack people?
So I walk up to you, right?
We can
let's say we both carry a gun
right now.
Let's say we both carry a gun, and I don't know, maybe for whatever reason I push you over. Now you're on the ground. Are you justified in pulling out your gun?
No.
No?
Why would you be? Why would
Maybe your
you
life
be?
is in danger.
Why would you be? You can pull it out. Yeah, you can pull it out, but you can't pull the trigger.
All right, so you pull out the gun,
Don't pull the trigger.
right?
Out.
And
What are you talking about?
let's say
Yeah,
I
you can
take
pull out your gun.
let's say
if you get pushed to the ground now. Hold on, let me say something. Let me ask you a question now. Hold on.
Yeah.
If I push you to the ground now and we both have guns, listen, I'm getting excited, you know, this is a good combo. First debate, by the way, I'm having fun. Listen, okay, you said in an anarchist society, you push me down, we both have guns, am I justified to pull out my gun? Just pull it out.
Mm-hmm.
I said yes.
Okay.
And I'm asking you, in the society right now, are you justified in the same thing? Does it go the same way, do you think?
To pull out a gun if you were pushed out? Yes, you can do so.
Then what's the issue?
Oh, well, I was going to continue with it, right? You didn't have an issue at that point, right? You say you can pull out the gun. But let's say, for example, in that moment, right? Probably about, 2 seconds. I take 3 steps back. Are you justified in firing?
Why would you be?
Well, take, for example, if you perceived that you were in danger, even though that you took 3 steps
That's
back.
clearly ridiculous.
Well, I agree.
No.
I agree. But in the moment, right, it may not have seemed ridiculous. And so now, are you justified in killing that individual?
No.
What is the decider of this justification?
Yeah, whoever's around, whoever's in this friend area, you know what I mean? This area, because all these people know each other. Because
everybody got together and they're like,
Let me finish. All these people in this area are gonna know each other because that's just how it's gonna work. It's gonna be a safe. These guys gotta know each other. It's just how it's gonna end up working.
Okay.
All right, because that's how you feel safe. Everyone's gonna be taught. It's gonna be a much more social society. Or civilization, I'll say, group of people. And it's going to be everyone around. So do people see it, for one? Do people see it?
Yeah, I mean, it was me and all my gang buddies.
Then they decide.
Okay, well, they're going to side with me.
Huh?
Well, because I had me and all my gang buddies. I mean,
I just didn't
let's
hear
say
you.
that
I'm sorry.
me and... you just happened to do this in the Scientology capital of the world, for example. And me and my buddies, as well as everybody else around you, they're all sci-fis. But you're not one of us. We didn't see nothing.
Okay.
Now what?
Then, what if that happened today?
Well, what would happen is that there would be an investigation independent of my gang.
Are you okay? In an anarchist society, what's stopping there from being a private company that can investigate into these things and has reputable credit sources and has detectives?
So the corporation has found that there was no wrongdoing.
Okay, what's your issue?
It just doesn't seem like a credible way to determine whether or not that there was wrongdoing. I wouldn't trust the corporation.
That's what happens
because
now.
a corporation's design is profit incentive, right? So if it goes against its profit incentive, then they're just going to tell you nothing's wrong.
Hey. Guess what?
Oh.
The United States government is a private company. It's a very big private company, and it is able to pay judges out. It's able to do that. And so are private companies that are big enough. They can do that too. So that can happen right now too.
I don't disagree with you that there aren't corrupt things that the United States government can do. But if I had to put my money on which one would likely be more corrupt, the private corporation that has a profit incentive versus the United States government, I'm putting all my money on black, the United States government.
Dude, okay. You're telling me the United States government has no profit incentive? That's what you're telling me?
No, they don't. They collect money through taxes.
Oh my God.
And they actually make their own money. Did you know that the United States government makes their own money?
Yeah, the dollar is the biggest scam ever.
I'm sure.
It is. The Federal Reserve is the biggest scam ever. It really is.
Yeah. You may want to read on the
Dude,
2008 collapse.
You got to look into this stuff.
Oh, yeah, trust me. I've read a lot.
I counted it. I counted it. You saw me counter that? I counted it. I'm slick with it. I got you there. I'm just messing around. I am goofing off a little bit. I'm sorry. But listen, you're giving me a bunch of arguments. All this can happen right now.
I mean, again, like
and you've admitted that it can happen right now. You've admitted it, and it does if you look into it. You just haven't looked into it.
I have looked into these things. I don't put in any trust into a private corporation as I would into, say, the United States government. I think chances are in your favor that if you're referring to a justice system, that a private corporation will be largely incapable or apathetic towards the creation of a justice system than the United States government.
So you're saying there's no corruption in the United States government?
No, that is a straw man of my position. I never said that.
Then what's your point? I'm a little confused on
I'm saying that the United States government has a vested interest in establishing peace among people, and the way that they do so.
I'm trying to have a good faith conversation, genuinely. So I don't want.
Yeah, I mean, it helps if you don't interrupt me, though.
I know, but you're saying I'm straw manning. It's like people start to freak out. I'm really trying to understand. But just don't, I honestly don't understand. So let me know. I'm sorry that I interrupted too.
Yeah, I mean, I just, if I had to guess, like, what would likely be a better justice system, a private corporation as opposed to the United States government, the United States government is going to win in that hand over fist, because historically speaking, whether or not we're talking about justice systems, certainly there can be corrupt governments, and I don't even disagree with you that the United States government can do bad things, but if you really want to derive down what would likely be far worse in terms of a justice system, a private corporation would probably be hands down very, very bad. It would be much worse than the United States.
Why?
Well, I gave you an example. The Banana Republic, historically speaking.
Let me go. Hold on. I asked you a question, but let me go real quick. Because I'm asking you why, but let me also clarify. You said, because I just want to clarify on one thing. You said history, historically. There's never been private. It's never been done. There's never been a private judiciary. Actually, it has been done right now. It's happening right now, by the way. Because explain to me how the U.S. government is not a private company. How is it not a private company?
Well, because you're talking about like the monopolization of force. Private companies don't have that. It is not a limited liability corporation. It is not a PLLC. It is not an SLLC. It is none of the legal bodies that basically makes a corporation a corporation. The United States government is actually what instantiates those rights, and a corporation also doesn't have a right to make its laws outside of its own bylaws and things that are specific within its own company. It cannot make, for example, federal legislation, nor is it allowed to make its own money. It is also not allowed to invade other countries. It is not allowed to create a military, yet none of these things, but the United States government has those capabilities.
It can do, a private company could do all of that. It could make a credit system, it could make its own money a credit system, it could have a security force, it could, what else did you say?
Yeah.
Dude, you go on for so long. I'm sorry. What did you start with?
I mean, like...
Oh, it can have policies. You started with laws. It can have policies.
Yeah,
like,
it can uphold laws. It can protect rights.
It can manage public resources. It can do all this stuff. A private company can do public resources. A private company can do that.
But I don't want a private company to do those things.
You're just changing the names.
Right, because a private company is ultimately beholden to its profit incentive and shareholders. So if it has a way that it could increase its profit incentive and shareholders, regardless of whether or not that it harms people, is independent as to whether or not that it makes profit.
Hey, what do you
Like
think
those things
Congress
don't
is?
always
And,
have to be
like,
synonymous.
Congress is shareholders, private company.
No,
they
Congress
have
does
equity
not have
in the government.
shareholders.
Congress, yeah, they do. They get
No.
paid hella. They get, they do.
No.
You know how much they get paid? They get paid so much. You know they do.
Well, I mean, they get an amount of
You know they
money,
do
a
through stock.
stipend. Honestly, they
know-
probably make more money
policy,
off of their
they-
book
through
deals than they
policy,
do actually from the
Hold
government. Listen.
Let me explain. Hold on. Let me explain how it works, though, because it doesn't seem like you're informed. Let me explain. I don't mean that in a bad way, but what happens is Congress will enact policies ahead of time, and not ahead of time, and they'll put money into certain stocks, like millions of dollars or hundreds of thousands of dollars into stocks. That's why they have millions of dollars. Look at their net worth and how much they get paid. It doesn't make sense. They put it in these stocks.
Yeah, I've explained it's book deals.
Hold on.
Quite often it's licensing deals that they make money on.
So that's equity. What are you talking about?
There's also a bit of insider trading in there as well. I mean,
private companies do the same thing as that.
You can't sit there and say that the United States government is a private corporation. It's not. And based on your original argument, right? We've driven so far away from your original argument, saying anarchism is the goal of all people. I mean, can you at least concede that anarchism is not the goal of all people? I mean, I'm one of all people.
I will say I could have worded that better. Let me see the right way to word it, because it is a hard thing to word. I don't know how to word it specifically. Yeah. I got to figure it out.
Okay, so
can I think for a second? Can
Sure.
I think for a second?
Yeah. Do you just need a moment?
I appreciate that. Yeah, let me think for a second. If I don't figure it out, it's okay. I'll just take like 1 minute. 1 minute. I think anarchy will lead to the highest rates in human evolution. Success. I think morally it's the most just. Yeah, I gotta write it down. I gotta figure it out because that's a minute. But you want to talk about it morally? Would you like to?
Like most? You think it is the most moral?
It's the most just. I think it's the most moral way you can run a civilization. It's hard to word it,
well, I mean, you had just gotten done with saying that if everybody has a gun, nobody's gonna, everybody's gonna be polite. I mean, like we've had, like for example, the Wild West. I mean, everybody is armed. I mean, we've seen lots and lots of dead people. I just
they were all dumb.
I don't find that but I don't see how that's any different today. Like I don't.
But you heard what I admitted. I said it couldn't have been done in the past. I think it can only be done now because of technology. Listen,
I don't see any difference if everybody has a gun then versus now.
There would be
versus
cameras everywhere. By the way, everybody would have their own cameras.
Yeah, but I mean, without I don't need to have cameras in my private domicile. I could choose to not have cameras just so I can kill people. And you'd be none the wiser. And you know what? Nobody's going to be there to investigate anything.
You can do that now. What do you, dude?
No. The government comes, right? They come to your house and then they take your stuff, and then they put you in a box. That's what they do now.
What?
Like if you're a serial killer, right?
You cut out a little bit.
Yeah. So if you're a serial killer, and you got a bunch of guns or I don't know, sleeping powder or whatever the heck. I could decide, in your private society where there is no government, that I'm just going to kill some people. And let's say if there's a bunch of people that say, well, we want to investigate. And I said, no, you're not allowed to do that. No investigating my house.
Then we're going to get a bunch of, if it's like, I don't know, this is like the weirdest hypothetical. How did those people know to investigate?
Well, I don't know. Maybe they suspect it. There are a lot of missing people, a lot of missing kids.
How did they suspect it? A lot of missing
people. A lot of missing people. They're just like,
him?
Where's Bob? We last saw Bob at this person's house, 123 Lane. And then, they're just like, you're not investigating my house. I'll shoot you.
Let me make it easier for me to understand. Is it like, does the guy have like kind of clear evidence? You know what I mean? He's like, all right, it's this guy. You
just
know what
a
I mean?
Suspicion. I don't know.
Just a suspicion?
Yeah.
Or how many, I don't know. If he convinces enough people and gets in the house, then yeah, they get in the house.
Oh, so it is Mad Max.
Yeah. It's not Mad Max as in the movie, as in it's, hold on. It's not as in it's super violent, but it is freedom, but it's not going to be super violent. Those guys.
Yeah, well, I'll tell you what.
You're telling me, okay, hold on.
I'm going to give you the last word, and then that's going to be it, because you
finish.
just conceded to the Mad Max.
Okay. In your hypothetical, there is a guy that had a suspicion on another guy that is a serial killer, and he convinced some people to break into that house because, not only did he knock first to say, can I investigate your house? And by the way, this wouldn't be how it's done in an anarchist society, because it would be a private company and you'd go to them with the evidence and you'd tell them to investigate them. So it wouldn't even be like this in an anarchist society. But in your hypothetical, this is just how insane this hypothetical is. That person convinced people, because you said that's how it works, in order to break into that house, and they found out that guy's a serial killer, and then they did a morally just thing in finding a serial killer. So that's your hypothetical, where in a society it actually worked and they found the serial killer. Like, what are you talking about?
Well,
do you see?
Because
do you see how ridiculous that is?
They might not be a serial killer.
Oh, I thought it was the final word. You don't want to look ridiculous, huh? You don't want to
fair
look
enough.
ridiculous.
No, fair enough. I'll let you finish. That's it. That'll be that.
Yeah. All right,
have a good day.
I'll call you back though, because I have other debates, and I thought this was very fun. I don't want to be like an asshole. You know what I mean? I thought this was very fun.
Yeah, I appreciate it. Thank you.